Isn't that wonderful? What a miracle. To bow before a mystery like this and to realize here we are able to put our voices and they make sense to you.
Yeah.
That's the big thing.
I love that there was I had a professor, an anthropology professor, and they said that the paradox of mankind is that we must bind ourselves in order to be free. And their example of that was that the human voice and throat and mouth can make an infinite number of sounds.
Yes.
But it's only when we confine those sounds to specific sounds that make words that we're able to communicate.
True.
So you have to or the same way with like driving. You know, you have to make rules so that you can functionally not hit each other.
That's right.
It's kind of a neat thing.
Well, are you saying that the world has order and it has relationships of all these things? This tree is just blooming again over here. I rejoice in that. And it's arrived in its cycle.
Right.
So I'm just so grateful to touch it with my eyes day by day out here.
It is. It's a daily gift.
And words are one form of communication.
Yes. Although it's interesting because words are somewhat limited. I mean, because as you always say, you know, the best things in life cannot be expressed; they can only be felt and experienced. And even when when we're trying to express things, you always bring your experience to the word.
That's right. Your apperceptive mass, your background, everything that has touched your eyes and your ears and your hands. You got them.
When someone's talking about, love, for example, that's a great example, because that is, I mean, even if you study that word, it still means so many things. And so, or if someone's talking about heartbreak, you bring so much of your experience to the word that as you're listening, you are perceiving something that's different than the person who's saying it.
True.
It's close, and that's but you always have to remember that language, by definition, is just getting close.
That's right.
Because the words are not real. The words are representations, and we bring our own perceptions to that.
Well, the whole idea of love, and we're moving toward Valentine's Day, there's 3 words that I think of in the Greek. There's eros, which is sexual love. There's phileo, which is friendship, and I like you, I touch you, I hug you, but that's it. And then there is agape, which is unmeasured love. I wish for you the very best. I hope and I believe that if you fit certain conditions, you will find joy, and you'll be thrilled with life, and you'll find happiness. There's eros and phileo and agape. And I want more agape. That's what we want for the world, agape. Accept you as you are, a wonderful, creative human being, and the pattern was broken when you were born. I'm more and more impressed by what we inherit in our DNA.
Yeah.
Well, and I have a child deep inside me, and every now and then he speaks, and I'm aware, well, that was Elroy when he was a little boy.
Really? What kind of, like old fears or old, like, hopes? Or
hopes, and my dreams and feelings and desires to touch another person and be a part of that person's life. In childhood, I took rugs, and down in our basement I made my playhouse.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think that's really. I was having a conversation this week about that. You really can't break down nature and nurture. I mean, you're definitely a product of both.
Yes.
You're like you're saying, you're born with lots of things that contribute to who you are. And then all those things that happen to you when you're a kid, and the experiences you have, the love or not love, the fears, and those things, they really pile on into becoming what you are as a grown up.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that often the path of a spiritual path is one of recognizing how much of that stuff that's been piled on is actually you,
yes,
and how much is outside voices or outside pressures, outside,
True.
advertisements or politicians or, even church leaders that might, pressure you into thinking something
Yeah.
that may or may not resonate deep inside.
Very true. Absolutely.
Well,
But the creation, the unbegun beginning, is not quite through with me. The big joy between you and me is that you're just beginning.
right.
And I am ready to, in the evening, just sort of close off and quit breathing and take ready for the next experiment. I think life goes on. I was discussing and presenting the whole idea of people changing form. The Indians are heavy on this. The Indians, you change form and you have different kind of lives. I don't know. It's something unique. Can't put it into words. You can feel it.
But there is a something that is you.
And you too. That's true of you, right?
Right.
There. I can visualize those of you I've met, and those of you who have touched me by your writings. I'm aware that you think a certain way. Thank you for sharing, my brother, my sister. And I rejoice in knowing you in this way. This is amazing to be able to touch you in this way, in this new world in which we're living. Who was it? The old order changeth, yielding place to the new, and the Creator fulfills himself in many ways, lest one good custom should corrupt them. We're changing.
I think that, one of the things that we do with the HugNation stuff is to try to kind of experiment with these digital tools and connect with people without physical space. And
Yes.
I think that one thing that I've begun to experience, and one of the reasons why why it feels so, it's hard to explain this feeling of connecting through, is because it's almost like as we read the words from Lotus and O Panama and Nate and Zelia, we are experiencing them in our physical place right here. We call their existence into our
And we
consciousness.
recognize their response to this.
And the same exactly, and the opposite is true. So they are calling our existence to, and so it's almost like I kind of like visualize these entities all over the globe, and they are experiencing us, and so it's almost like our existence is not defined by our physical bodies.
No.
So let's give ourselves a hug now. Squeeze yourself by the shoulders wherever you are.
I feel you. You are my brother. You are my sister. We are part of a great family. And oh, if we can have love in that family. Real love. Abiding love. Not eros, not just phileo, but also agape. I love you for what you are and what you're trying to be.
And so we hold on to that and feel that love, feel it swirling around and being a part of that one huge human family. We thank you so much for joining us today. Spending a couple seconds out of a busy week to just be a part of the one. We love you. Happy Hug Nation. And we will see you next week. Oh no, you'll be gone next week, or you'll be back?
No, I'll be back.
Well then we'll see you next week.
Next Tuesday.
Happy Hug Nation.
Tuesday, 1 o'clock.
We love you.
Thank you. I love you. God bless. And every good way. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, go right ahead.
Thank you for
Thank
being
you
here.
for coming our way.
Yes.
Make our day.
And prepare for Valentine's Day. We are having a alternate to romantic Valentine's Day. So if you want to celebrate Valentine's Day as a huggable participant, go to HugNation.com or HugNation.com/huggable. There's a little information about how you can print out or get a pin and be a part of the I'm Open to Hugs Day.
That physicalizes it.
Yeah.
Physicalizes it.
Exactly.
Yeah, the pink pen.
We're kind of taking Hug Nation and bringing it to the streets.
Very good. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye, my brother. Goodbye, my sister.
Let me just...
Thank you. I'm indebted to you for doing what you've just done. You only live once. Enjoy the color.